All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Maria Rosales. I work for the Sanitation District, and I am very excited to be your host of our first ever live Bixby Marshland. This is actually a first, so great way to start the 2021. Happy New Year to everybody who's here. Um, we are, for those of you unfamiliar with the Bixby Marshland tours, the Sanitation District has been hosting these tours since 2009. And with the pandemic happening, we're closed, obviously. It's closed to the public, but we thought the next best thing would be to have virtual tours. So uh, we've been providing these tours since May, actually. And you could, if you go to our YouTube channel, I'll post the link in just a little bit. You'll know that you'll see the virtual tours that we have. Today is extra special because we're actually live from Bixby, as you see in our live feed. So just a little bit of housekeeping news to start is please use Zoom's Q&A feature to type in your question, and we'll send out information via the chat. And also, so you know, this broadcast is being recorded, and we're going to post it on YouTube later today. So go ahead and join us. Like I said, I'll put the channel later on in the day. Now, I know it's live, and I promise we're going to get there. But I do have to show you a couple of PowerPoints just to put things into perspective. And that's like the beauty of being able to host these tours. So this is, an aerial view that we have of the area, and where it says you are here, that's where we all are right now virtually, thanks to technology. What we see in highlighted in yellow is an outline of our joint water pollution control plant. That is the sanitation district's largest wastewater treatment facility. It serves 5 million people in LA County. As you can see, it's a big property. But just right here, so right here, the little area highlighted in yellow, that's also part of our property. That's the Bixby Marshland. That's what we're actually here to see today. It's 17 acres packed of nature and all of Mother Nature's good things. We are actually located right off the 110 of the Sepulveda, which is runs, this is the big intersection of here, of Sepulveda and Figueroa. So Figueroa is running north-south, and Sepulveda is running east-west. And if you're driving down south on Figueroa from Sepulveda, there's going to be a black right. So that's where we're going to start off our tour today. But notice how close we are. We're only 7 miles from the ocean, and just from looking at everything, we see Machado Lake and Ken Malloy Park right over here. This area used to be a marsh for many years. It was part of the Bixby Slough, and over time, as urbanization developed, the marshes shrunk, and to the point that which is what we have left over now. Now, as far as Bixby Marshland was actually cut off from its water supply when the Wilmington Drain was built mid 1970s. So you can't really see the Wilmington Drain, but it's sandwiched between the 110 Freeway and Bixby Marshland, and this channel right here. That's actually um, um, even though it was cut off, the Bixby Marshland, the water supply was cut off when they built the channel. The Wilmington Drain still is the source of water for Bixby Marshland, and we're going to cover that in just a little bit. So with that, I want to start our tour by introducing my friend Genesis, who is live from Bixby. Genesis, you're our eyes
Hi,
and ears.
everyone.
You're our eyes and ears and nose today. Take us to Bixby Marshland, please.
Okay, that's a lot of pressure. So I am here at Bixby. Like Maria said, we're here on the corner of Sepulveda and Figueroa. This street right here is actually Figueroa, and you'll hear the beautiful sounds of ambulances and concrete jungle birds, which I like to call helicopter. But anyway, enough of my face. Let's see a little bit more about Bixby. So here we are at the entrance, and what's really cool is, well, actually, I noticed this nugget, so I just wanted to start off with this quick nugget that I found, which are these two little nests. And we're going to see a few more nests throughout our tour, throughout our walk today. Here is one. Unfortunately, I've been peeking at it all morning and I haven't seen anyone wake up. And then here's another one. And actually, I forgot to mention our guest star, which is Nathan Heick. He's our bird expert. He's the Steve Kornacki of Bixby Marshland. So, Nathan, we're going to start pop quizzing you throughout this whole tour because you never know what you're going to see at Bixby. Here we have another little nest that unfortunately my 5'2" height status doesn't let me reach. But do you have any idea what kind of bird might have made this nest?
Well, good morning. I appreciate the references to Steve Kornacki because he's an expert in election statistics. Yes, that's a scaly-breasted munia nest. Scaly-breasted munia are an introduced species from, I'm not sure which continent, but they're one of the many introduced species in Southern California, like European starlings and house sparrows, and they make this ball-shaped nest. So there's a lot of old ball-shaped nests hanging. There's a lot of ball-shaped nests hanging from different trees in the area.
Just sorry to interrupt. We are hearing a comment on the chat that the video is upside down.
Is it my video or the
I think
video
there's this video. The live feed is upside down. Deanna, can you put in the chat if that's what you're seeing, or it looks upright to us?
The live feed is right, but we should probably stop it by now. The live feed.
Yeah. Hold on.
The live feed. But anyway, while I'm here, do you guys notice this? There's this little tiny hummingbird. You'll see a little blub on the branches, the very thin branches, and you'll notice a little ball. Does anyone notice it? You could put it in the chat.
Is it right
It's
there?
from Genesis. Yeah, and we can turn the live feed off now. But
yeah.
So there's this little blob on the branches. Oh yeah, Mark Rollins sees it.
Right.
Perfect. So that's a hummingbird. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. It looks like an Allen's hummingbird based on my little educational session with Nathan a few days ago. But what I will be doing is I'll be taking photos. Yay, Lisette sees it. Perfect. Yeah, so I'll be taking photos of this while on our tour and as Maria talks. So after this, I will have them all uploaded to our Facebook page immediately. So if there's anything we couldn't see, I'll put it up there. And someone asked me to repeat the name. I think this is an Allen's hummingbird. Once I upload them to Facebook, Nathan will correct me if I'm wrong. So we'll put up the photos, and it flew away. So we'll put up the photos, and Nathan, and we'll put up their names as well.
Yeah.
So as I walk back,
I'll go ahead. No, I was just gonna say I'll put the link to our Facebook and our Twitter and our Instagram chat later in the chat today, so everybody knows where to head back.
Yeah, perfect.
Michelle asked for the name of the bird. I'm gonna put it in. She was interested in not the hummingbird.
Is it Alice?
Oh, got it. I think he meant the name of the nest.
Oh,
but anyway,
scaly-breasted munia. Good eyesight.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
He was talking about the one with the, yeah. So as I walk back to Bixby, Maria, you can take us away with some more fun facts.
All right. So fun facts about Bixby Marshland. I'm just gonna go ahead and why are marshlands so important? Why do we care about marshlands? The thing about marshlands is that marshlands have hold on, I'm gonna share my screen just to do this better. Give me just 1 second, because now I'm frozen.
And Nathan, if you hear anything interesting, please stop us.
Okay, so a marsh is a wetland environment that has grasses and rushes and it has water. So when I first came to Bixby, I'm like, where's the water? Well, Bixby actually has 3 like natural zones, and I'm gonna share my screen so everybody can see. We went through that already. Sorry, guys. Oh, this is a great shot. I actually mentioned earlier how this used to be a slough, the Bixby Slough. So the picture on the right shows you what it looked like in 1941. And what you see here is actually Machado Lake and Pen Mallards, and Bixby's in the background. But even though it's in black and white, you can see just in general, there was a lot more marsh than what it is that we have now. So just to be able to take part and bring us back to this and share in this rich history of the area is actually, a great honor for the Sanitation District. All right. So this is actually a schematic that shows the different parts of a marsh. I always thought it was just the wet part, but the marsh has 3 different zones: the aquatic zone, which is the open water, riparian, which would be like the wet soil kind of interface between the aquatic and the dry land, which would be the upland. So this all makes up the marsh, and different animals and different species actually live in different parts, different plants. marshes, in fact, are homes to 43% of the federally listed endangered species. So by being able to restore a marshland, we're actually helping to get all these little animals back to a safer condition, I guess. Now, I mentioned earlier, I always thought the marsh had water. This is actually an aerial shot of that we took with the drone footage earlier. And this, I guess, this just gives us an appreciation of what we're gonna walk together with Genesis today. So get your virtual walking shoes ready. We're starting off in our parking lot, and I promise you we'll see water soon. So we can appreciate all the different types of trees and colors. You can see textures. This was filmed probably, I want to say, in late October, maybe. We see a lot of our walking paths, and this is like the soaring over Disney California part of the tour. Now we're starting to see water, and this is the famous, I guess, bridge we crossed. We see some tulips.
It's really soaring over California without the smell-o-vision.
I know.
Yes. And that one's for all you Disneyland fans. We had to put it in there.
Beautiful, beautiful shot. The sun's just starting. So great.
So it's our moment of nature.
That was your moment of nature. All right, Genesis, go ahead and start walking and take us there.
Okay, so I'm still in the parking lot, and I'm still here because I just wanted to know the car stoppers. They're made out of reclaimed wood, and I think it's eucalyptus. Fact check me, Maria, if I'm wrong. But one of the things we made a priority when we were designing Bixby, we wanted to make sure that we stick to our mission of converting waste into resources. So everything from our car stoppers to our trash cans that you see there, to the little fences along the park, they're all made of reclaimed wood. And so here we make our first stop at this beautiful willow tree, which I thought was cottonwood a while back, but now I know it's a willow tree. So Maria, did you have any fun facts about this willow that you want to share?
Okay, just one disclaimer. I know this is a live tour, so with a live tour, we don't know what we're going to see, but one thing you're going to know about Bixby is that Bixby always changes. So right now we're here in winter. We don't get to see the lush landscape. You know, the leaves have fallen, but I highly, highly encourage you guys to come back to Bixby in the spring. It'd be a great time and it would look totally different. So like Genesis said, this is a willow. Obviously, I think a lot of the leaves have dropped, but willows love water. So if you're, it makes sense that the willows near a marsh. They help reduce flood risk because the roots really like to hold on to the ground, and it kind of slows the water down. So if you're ever stranded and you find a willow, you'll know that water is near. Willow will only be around water. Now,
no way, really?
Yeah. And my favorite fact about a willow is actually that the willow bark has salicylic acid, which is actually the main ingredient from aspirin. That's where aspirin got from. So you can boil the bark, and it helps, it acts like aspirin, helps with fever, pain, inflammation, relief, all of that. So it's no surprise that Native Americans from the area used, steep the bark in hot water and consumed it, and it's a medicinal plant for them. Now, another cool fact about willows is that when willows are after the flower blooms, it gives off this kind of white cottony dandelion type of fluff, and that's a way oh, there we go. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's, you guys can see, it kind of looks like a big ball of lint / cotton, but that's actually the way the tree reproduces itself. It wants the wind to carry those little fluffs away to spread the seed. And here we were able to find some picked off the ground. Wow, look at that.
So yeah, if you notice the texture, if I slowly kind of rip it apart, it really does feel like cotton, and you'll see the little seeds that come out of it. It's actually really soft. Like, I wouldn't mind a sweater made out of this, to be honest.
All right. Very nice.
And so then I will leave this here.
Maria and Genesis?
Yeah?
Excuse
me. I think it was Michelle. Someone, can you go back to the chat?
Did you hear a bird?
Deanna. Oh no, Deanna was saying Maria's computer screen is right side up, but the live feed is upside down.
I already muted the live feed. I don't know what.
Yeah, there's no live feed.
There's no live feed.
Sorry. Okay.
All right, so we're at the entrance, and when you walk in, you get these educational placards. So if you're here, Bixby does allow for a self-guided tour. But in this case, we don't need to read the placard much because we have our expert Maria. So was there anything you wanted to add about freshwater marsh
Well,
and
I
the
just
wet
wanted
world?
to, well, no, I just wanted to also mention why marshes are important. And yes, they provide habitat for animals, especially for federally endangered um, anim animals. But actually, the marshes have a very specific function related to our water cycle. And not many people know this about marsh. This is actually one of the many reasons that we care. So marshes help improve and maintain water quality. They protect us from floods because they soak up the water like a sponge. And that water, when it goes into the ground, it helps replenish the underground aquifers. So that's one great thing that they do. But they also filter the water pollutants as it comes in through the land. And marshes are actually kind of nicknamed the kidneys of the landscape, and that's because they clean the water that comes to them before it goes to the ocean, where it could have diverse adverse impact to the marine life. So kidneys clean the water, and that's in addition to helping also sequester greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. So besides the beauty and the habitat, they play a very functional role, and that's not to mention like the recreational opportunities that marshes offer us. You can enjoy a walk through nature, you can see animals, you can hear animals. And I can't stress this enough. When you come to Bixby Marshland, you use all your senses. You're going to be able to hear things, see things, touch things, smell things, taste things. I'm sorry, that's a lot of pressure on you, Genesis, but you're going to have to do all of that stuff. Go ahead and put that in the chat if there's anything you want Genesis to touch or taste. We're game for it.
I'm trying. So I'm walking into the first leg of Bixby. There are two main legs. So the first leg I like to visit is my favorite because this is where I usually get lucky with hummingbirds. I saw some earlier today this morning. I'm not sure if we'll get lucky enough to see another one.
You missed the Tori Pine.
Hold on. You're jumping the gun here.
Sorry.
On our way back. So we have here this little slight walk, and this is our first bridge. There are two bridges here, and so here I'll just be quiet, allow for the beautiful moment of nature, and see if we can hear any hummingbirds, which usually in my experience this is where they like to be. And we'll talk about it in the Tory Pines a little later. All right, just a little walk through.
That was a song sparrow right there.
No way, really?
Yeah, that was.
I heard it, yeah.
All right, so I'll stay quiet to see if we can hear anything else.
What was that? Oh.
That had to have been a hummingbird because I saw it flying right past me. For those of you in Canada and Minnesota, it's colder than you think.
Let me know when the moment of nature is over.
Okay, I think it's over. And Nathan, if you hear anything, please let me know. So I'm gonna make my way back out of here. I see hummingbirds like dashing in and out, and I think those are some of the ones that we heard as they were chirping. But usually I've seen them playing around here, and I think Al and I had a really nice moment with some hummingbirds that we'll come across right now. Oh, look, there's a big bird over there. Oh, I didn't catch it.
Okay. I mean, if you want, I can describe some of the birds from that portion of the marshland.
Yeah, so here, coming up, we have one of our favorite trees, the Tory Pines. Tell us about the Tory Pines.
The Tory Pine is a really, really awesome tree. And I have to admit, I didn't know about this. But
wait, hold on. I'm sorry, Maria. I just want to say, sometimes if your video feed is upside down, it's because you need to fix like the rotation view on your phone, just in case, because if it comes up again upside down, I think I saw it in the chat. So check your settings to make sure that it's on locked screen view so that you don't get an upside down feed. All right, thank you. Sorry, back to Tory Pines.
All right, can you zoom in on the Tory Pine? There we go. So Tory Pine actually has it's a very interesting story to the pine. It's actually a very rare type of pine species, and there's only two naturally occurring growths in all of North America. One is in the Santa Rosa Islands, in the Channel Islands, and the other one is in like La Jolla Del Mar area by San Diego. So that's why if you've ever driven through there, you hear Tory Pine, banks, schools, all that stuff. There's actually why you have a Tory Pine reserve, Pine State Reserve. This tree is actually critically endangered. So they're going through all these efforts to preserve the Tory Pine, to make sure that it survives. Now, from what I hear, there's maybe around 3,000 in North America, naturally occurring in North America. We've had, I think, 28 here. But it's a type of pine, so kind of related to a Christmas tree, but unlike a Christmas tree, it doesn't have the pointy top. It kind of has more like an open crown, kind of think of like a bonsai kind of look. The Tory Pine, now Genesis, this is a little pop test. You can tell it's a Tory Pine. Pick a little bundle of the Tory Pine.
Okay. Ouch, it's kind of.
Sorry, if you pick one of the little bundles, it should have 5 needles. Just pick one. Can you count them? Each little.
I get it. Oh my God, you're not even lying. Look.
Nope, I am
not.
That's
a little bundle, and there's 5.
Exactly 5. And now I also
every time.
And I also every time. That's part of what makes it like a Tory Pine. Now, if you look at the Tory Pine, it shouldn't be round. It kind of has like a ridge down the middle. Can you see that? Each little needle.
I'm not sure.
No. Well, what?
Let me see. Can you guys see?
I don't know. Does it look round like a Christmas tree pine needle?
No? I don't know.
That's okay. That's all right. Tory pines also have one of the longest needles, like for pine, so that's pretty cool. Tory pines have they go through great lengths to get water. So they're, whatever height it is, you could have roots like 5 times deeper actually. So this is a very, very hardy tree. We are very lucky to have, the Tory Pines here. And if you want, hopefully one day you guys can come to Bixby and tour it in person. You can come and visit the Tory Pine. Great tree.
Now I get why San Diego named like the Hilton Hotel after Tory Pine.
They identify a lot with the Tory Pine. So it's like the Joshua tree, with the desert, like that kind of relationship with the Tory Pine.
And look, there's a pine over there.
Oh,
right over there. Okay. And one time, actually, I think back in 2017, me and my friend tree and also Bixby specialist Al Sattler, we were literally right here when Al spotted a hummingbird's nest. And this is when I started realizing that this was the leg of Bixby where you saw a lot of hummingbirds. He saw this really cool hummingbird's nest, and there were 2 little baby hummingbirds in it.
I'm going to share my screen.
Photo?
I do.
Yeah. Perfect. So we'll pop that up and you'll see I wasn't lying to you. It's actually a beautiful, beautiful shot.
Hold on. There it is.
In projection mode. I think we see the parking lot. There you go.
Oh, no, it's right there. So this was actually photographed here at Bixby Marshland, and there's the Tory Pine and there's the nest of the hummingbirds. Now, I have to say this, hummingbirds are tiny and baby hummingbirds are even tinier. So this whole little thing, even though it's zoomed in, it's like probably the size of like a ping pong. But what I think it's even amazing is, look at the nest. You can see all the detail. I don't know what that white stuff is. Could be from the willow, could be from the cotton tree. But I also read that they were very resourceful and they sometimes use spider webs to make their nest. And that's like mothers being resourceful, right? The spider web is kind of sticky, stick together. But in addition to that, it helps the baby birds stay on the nest so mom can go and bring food and they're still there. How cool is that?
And I think you mentioned that they like making their nest out of cotton-like and spider webs, right?
Yes, I mentioned that already. Now, one cool thing about hummingbirds, I didn't know this about them, but I think it's so cool. Out of all the bird species, hummingbirds have the least amount of feathers, I think, to help them fly faster, be more efficient and faster. And also their little tiny feet have kind of evolved so they don't really walk. I don't know, Nathan, you're the bird expert. Can you comment on this? Is that true? They
And
kind of
just
like they just perch and kind of scoot along. Is that true?
and just to give you an idea, I don't know, exactly which branch or which needles it was on, but this is kind of like a bunch of little needles in one, which is almost the same size as where this nest is, and it's literally the size of my thumb.
Oh my god.
Just that little spot where they're resting. So that's nuts.
The egg of I mean, hummingbirds are little, but the egg of a hummingbird is like the size of a jelly bean, almost like a little smaller than a jelly bean. So
Yeah,
Cool.
the nest is about an inch and a quarter, inch and a quarter wide.
Yeah,
It's
so it
very
was,
small.
I mean, it was really, really tiny. And when Al showed it to me, I didn't want to get that close. I didn't want to disturb them. But once he showed me that photo, I was blown away.
all right, let's keep going.
So
Let's see what we see.
I'm going to make my way. Here I am back at the entrance. Sorry, I got a little carried away with the hummingbird photo. But back at the entrance here, we're going to take the other leg of Bixby, where we're going to see a lot more trees. And so what's really cool, you'll notice I said this was a self-guided tour, so you'll have placards for a lot of these plants. And unfortunately right now, because of winter, a lot of these trees are dead. But if you come back in March, which we'll do another live feed from March, I'm saying you heard it from me first. Um, we'll see a lot of these plants in bloom. One of the first ones that we have here is the bush monkey flower, and you'll notice the placard talks about the leaves of bush monkey flower are curled under to help shade themselves from the sun. They're also covered with a sticky, waxy coating that helps prevent water loss due to evaporation.
Do you see any sticky monkey flowers there? Can you see one?
I don't see any sticky monkey.
Go back to the picture. The one way you can tell is a sticky. Go back to the little picture. One tell you
Oh,
can
yeah.
tell is a sticky monkey flower is look at the petals. It has like two facing up and three kind of looking down. Two up, kind of like two bunny ears, and
Yeah.
two down. That's kind of how you can tell it's a monkey flower. So as
Huh.
opposed to like a California brittle bush or something else.
So hopefully in March we'll see them in full bloom again. So here we have. Oh, Nathan, do you know what that is?
I can't hear anything I can't hear it that loud.
Okay. All right, let me know if you do. So here we have another educational placard, which talks about recycling at the marsh, which I mentioned a little bit. A lot of it's made out of reclaimed materials. And I was right. The car stops are made from salvaged eucalyptus trunks.
Very
And
nice.
so the benches and the garbage can made from recycled content, plastic lumber. And so we'll keep walking to see. Our next highlighted plant here is the lemonade berry.
Ooh.
Now, the lemonade berry leaves are thick and leathery with a waxy coating to protect them from water loss due to evaporation. Berries are eaten by birds and mammals and can make a bitter lemonade. So this is one of the food sources that all these birds have to eat. Did you have any other fun facts about this
Well,
berry tree?
yeah, so you can eat it as is, or you can put it in water and you mix lemonade. And I think then if there is one, Genesis, you should eat one.
Really?
Yeah, I think you should.
Oh,
Do you find one?
I've been here. These are the berries,
Oh, they're
and
not.
you'll notice, huh?
They're bright red when they're, I guess, fully mature.
Yeah, they're a lot brighter red. Do you have a picture of the lemonade berries? Actually, I think we have one.
I'll show one later because we'll go out of sequence.
Okay.
So. Okay.
All right. So these are the lemonade berries. Oh.
Yeah, those are
Okay.
the flowers.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. These are the little flowers, but I guess during the spring they're actual little berries that come up. So I'm glad I didn't eat this yet because that would have been extremely bitter. Oh, Al Sattler.
Yeah, he said those are the flowers.
Did you want to unmute Al Sattler?
Okay, hold on, Al. We're coming to you. All
There
right,
you go.
Al, go ahead and talk.
Okay,
Hi,
Can
Al.
you
Good
hear me?
morning. Yes, we can.
Yes.
okay. So yeah, those are the flowers that, as Nathan said. Yeah. The
So
berries will follow on later.
I think it's safe to say if anybody comes back to Bixby and they see the red berries, go ahead and tell us what happens with the berries, if they taste sour or not. I'm excited to find out. All right, Genesis, let's keep going.
Cool. So the next one is purple sage. It almost reminds me of that band that just slipped my mind right now.
Okay. All right.
But purple sage, let me cover it a little bit so that we can read it a little better. The silver colored hairy leaves and buds of this plant help to reflect the sunlight away from the plant, keeping it cooler throughout the hot, dry summers of our Mediterranean climate.
Does it smell like sage or like lavender or something? What does it smell
You
like?
know what? I'm going to walk a little further down this way where I know that there are a bunch more. Look at that. Hold
Wow.
on. This is a moment of nature for the CBS News moment of nature, folks. Check that out. So here you have a full bush. So if I pick it up and touch it,
Ooh,
yeah, it
look at that.
really
Looks like
does have like this leathery feel to it. And it's kind of, hold on, there you go. There you go. It's so it's crazy how textured it is, but it's a lot softer than it looks. A lot softer.
as
Someone from
mean.
the chat.
Yeah, as mean as saying sage is good for a respiratory condition and you can use it as tea. Very,
So
very.
I promised I would be your eyes and ears, so let me spell it. You know, it kind of smells like a mix of lavender and eucalyptus.
Oh my gosh.
I think I may be wrong. You know, usually I'm used to smelling burgers.
Right now that you said that, I actually felt like I smelled it myself. That's crazy. Thank you, Jennifer.
It's crazy, and it's not as it's not as purple right now, but I can already imagine it. It's almost smells like cowboy cologne. It's pretty potent. Maybe if you got a whole bunch of these, you would avoid showers for a while.
Now that you've
Because
mentioned,
it is very strong.
let me mention the cowboy cologne. So according to the lore, cowboy cologne was a local name for plants like the California sagebrush. It's kind of
Is there some, that's some right there, isn't it? There.
Yeah.
yeah. So
This is it here.
the cowboy cologne got its name because when they were out there, the cowboys were out here training and riding all day. They would be sweaty, work up a sweat, so they would like use the plant, so like either roll in it or maybe rub some on, so that they would smell good by the time they freshen up. So you had some they used it as a bit of a deodorant. That's why it gets its name, cowboy cologne.
Yeah, so this is probably like the section of Bixby that smells the best. This whole cowboy cologne and purple sage area. And then here, walking up, we're gonna leave that smell-o-vision. Literally right now I sniffed in and I could still smell it. But anyway, here we have our educational pavilion, and it's made out of, what is it made out of?
Eucalyptus trees, recycled eucalyptus trees. Okay, Genesis, why don't you sit down on the bench, because I gotta go into like the history of how the area was restored.
My pleasure.
Let Genesis sit down for a little bit. So I had mentioned that the sanitation district was involved, and I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that. Let Genesis rest her feet. All right. So I mentioned earlier that the sanitation districts, this is our joint water pollution control plan, and this is what the area looked like in 1995. Because the plants needed to continue to serve like the growing needs of LA County, we needed to have an expansion. So this is what it looked like in 1995. Prior to the expansion, because of the expansion, I guess we offered to go ahead and restore the marsh. So this is what the marsh looked like before the restoration. And what you see here is the freeway, the Wilmington Drain right here. Now, the first thing that this is 17 acres, by the way, just to get any idea of the size. The first thing we did was go ahead and eliminate all the non-native plants. So palm trees had to go. The other one was the eucalyptus trees. So you could see it looks totally different. And I think this helps us appreciate what we have now. This is we hired a wetland restoration firm to help us come up with a design. And what you can see here is that Bixby is actually, you know, we thought a marsh is like, it's not really a lake. It's actually designed more of like a river, a serpentine river, if you will. And that was to maximize the different kind of habitats that you could have. And you could see here that, you know, where we start, and it kind of goes across. This picture right here, sorry, it's kind of low quality, but this actually shows you like kind of naked Bixby. This is what happened after all the non-native plants were removed, and you start here from the ground up. So from here, we went to what we have now. Now, just so I need to, you know, explain this a little bit better. So here's a shot. Here you have the freeway, right here, the Harbor Freeway, and you have Bixby, and this channel right here is the Wilmington Drain. So the Wilmington Drain, even though when the Wilmington Drain was built, it cut off access to the water supply for Bixby, still became the source of water for Bixby. So now we have a pump that kind of brings in water from here. And you could see that the water will kind of travel like the lazy river in Vegas. I think it's the Mandalay Bay that has one. It travels all the way around down this winding path. And as the water flows through, it gets cleaned. That's why one of the reasons why it was designed that way. And if there's excess water, it comes down back into the Wilmington Drain down over here. So picture like a long river. I think I'm gonna play this video and it kind of follows the water. We're following the path right now, but this is a great way to follow the water. Beautiful.
Our next moment of nature.
There was a question about whether or not there are any fish in the water.
Great
Oh,
question.
we'll get to that when we get there.
Okay.
When was this taken?
This was from, I think, maybe October, late October.
It was
This year.
actually, it was actually last month.
Really?
Actually, no. Yeah. Is this the December slide?
Yeah. So this was taken in November for the December Bixby. I remember it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. This one right here is just another video. This shows you how the water, I think, coming in from Bixby, from the Wilmington Drain into Bixby, and it's just.
We'll
There we go. That was very short. Oh, we're not gonna get here yet. Sorry.
Yeah.
Genesis, keep going. Okay, so just
Perfect.
going back to this, to the pavilion. This pavilion right here was made with the eucalyptus trees from those trees that were removed. So even though it, you know, it had to go, it still serves a purpose here in Bixby. Now, what Genesis is looking at is the canopy, California wild grape vine, and that's the
sorry.
What?
Okay, now I'm looking at the canopy.
Yes, there's a canopy. So the California wild grape is just like a grape that would grow around, and unfortunately right now it's not giving any fruit. But normally the little fruits, they're like little tiny grapes, they start off green and they end up turning black. You could taste them and try them. Native Americans used to use the fruit like it's just a grape. I mean, you could eat it raw, you can dry it into a raisin, you can make it into grape juice. It's a great way. It provides shelter year round, but you could see it's right up. So in the spring, it will have beautiful green colors, and you could see it would have like grapes hanging off from it. So that's really cool.
So I'll say the birds really like the grapes. You'll see them getting ripe in summer, and you'll see them gradually becoming fewer and fewer. They have a very, very tart. Oh, there you see this cluster of leftover ones.
Oh, look there.
Yeah, here are the dried up.
Yeah, the stems.
Dried up clusters. Yeah.
Wow.
So you'll see more. Yeah. And we'll show pictures of what it looks like in its prime, I think.
Yeah,
Maria.
I'll put them in a little while. Let's talk about the eucalyptus tree. That's exciting.
Yes.
We had a few questions. I don't know if you want to do them at the end or now.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the fish when we get to the water. The question is, how long did it take to restore Bixby? I'm not quite sure, but I know that it opened up in 2009. I can go ahead and look it up and let you know. The other question is, what water quality tests look like before the water enters the Lacey River as it compares to when it exits? So what happens is when the water flows through, very, very slowly, any particulates, any settlements, any matter will settle to the ground. It kind of stays in the riverbed, if you will, and only the clean water will flow through. So that's why you slow the water down to be able to settle down. So only I guess the clearer water will flow through. But that's pretty much the only test, I guess. I don't believe it's tested like formally. I hope this answers your question. All right, let's move on to the eucalyptus. All right, so this eucalyptus has a really cool story. So the eucalyptus tree, can we zoom in to one of the eucalyptus trees so you can see?
Zoom in, yes I can.
So if you've ever been to Bixby, or maybe you can see it now, there's all these like weird markings on the eucalyptus trees, and that's actually caused right there. Like you could see those.
Oh,
right here, look, those horizontal lines. That's actually carvings made by, not carvings, but it reflects the life cycle of the bark beetle. So I guess the larva like kind of burrow in there, and as it grows out, it eats it and it makes its way out. So that's why you have these like weird curves on it. And I know there's a kind of bird that knows that the beetle bark larva is in here, so they'll try to like I don't know, like pick it out, I guess, if you will. So if you're ever here, you would touch it and feel just nature doing its thing right here.
It almost feels like they're trying to tell us something, like if there's some type of code. Yeah, it's really crazy. I never noticed that before.
Very
Look,
nice.
This almost looks like the Omega symbol. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you, Genesis, for showing that. So when this was open, oh wait, let me just say, when Bixby was open to the public, it's open the first Saturday of every month, but it was also open by appointment. So we used to have school tours that would come on Fridays, and they would sit here and have their lesson or maybe their lunch here. So hopefully when we open, just consider that you can have tours. We work with a lot of groups that make a stop here. But if you want a tour like this for your school or organization, just let us know, and we'll be happy to do this for you.
Hit us up and we'll set something up for you.
All right.
So I'm gonna keep walking, and we have entered our next moment of nature in this session. So I'm gonna do a quick little walkthrough until we get to the bridge and see what's out there.
Yeah, you talked about birds trying to get to the bark beetle larvae. I'm guessing it was probably a Nuttall's woodpecker, but there's also downy woodpeckers and northern flickers at the marshland.
Thank you, Matron. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
The little duckies.
This is the best place to see waterfowl.
I love how we can see the reflection of the water, like the reflection of the trees and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, this is like prime time selfie spot right here. So when you're here, take a selfie and tag us.
Look at that.
Do you know? So over there, I don't know if you guys can see them. Do you guys see these little black ducks?
Like in the middle of the screen, yeah?
Yes.
They're blurry, but
we need to ask our bird expert what kind of ducks they are. Nathan, that's you.
To be honest with you, I can't see it clearly enough, but there's a good chance that it's an American coot.
Yeah. I think you're right, because it has like its body's like blackish gray, but then its head is like a very, very dark black velvet.
Oh.
Like a very velvety
What color
black.
is the bill? What color is the bill?
It's like white.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's the
American coot, right?
American coot's not a duck, but it's a type of waterfowl.
Oh,
So don't call it a.
sorry.
It's okay. No. Just
Birds,
saying.
birds
For
on
everybody.
water. It's like they're
Right.
all ducks. Hey, and what's really cool, and what I wanted to point out is this really is a safe haven for animals in the middle of a concrete jungle. I don't know if you guys can see. Hold on, there's not that much traffic, but over here you'll see cars start to pass. Hold on, we'll see a little truck soon. Right there.
There
You
we
guys see
go.
a little truck going over?
Is
So
that the
right there
110?
is the 110. Yes, it's the 110 freeway going northbound. If you went south, you'd end up in San Pedro. And then, yeah, so literally right there's the freeway. So when you're here, you hear a mixture of cars and beautiful bird noises. And Nathan, if you can hear any of the bird noises, please let me know what you hear. So we're gonna go back. And then on this other side, we can't
just
really
heard a
tell.
bird.
Oh,
Oh, I paid that duck to do that.
oh, and can we talk about how we test the water? There was a question.
I mentioned that about the river. We test the water coming and exiting the marsh. Oh, thank you.
Perfect.
Oh, so we're gonna talk a little bit about the plants for a little bit about the tulies. Can you
Yes.
look at the tulies? All right,
So
so
here
the tulies.
are some tulies.
The tulies are the green stems that stick up out of the water. They're known to be here in the marshes. Tulies right there, and if I guess if they're laying down, like there, that yellow patch right there, they're called bulrushes. But one cool thing about the tulies is that they've adapted to live in water. That's just what they do now. That's what we find in here. Their roots can be up to 2 feet under in water. And normally a plant takes in soil from like the airspace around the roots, like near the soil, but because the tulies are underwater, the tulies take in their oxygen from the stem, from the green part that you see. So obviously the tulies don't have gills, so they take in the oxygen from the green part. So it loves being here. It's actually really good. Like some of the animals like have their nests there. And just aside from the animals using it, the Native American population used to make weave it for like mats and to make roofs, to make builder roofs. So tulies are awesome. They're really cool. Let's see what else. Do we see any other little animals around there?
We have, I think I saw like a few little tadpoles.
Oh yeah.
And then
so the type of frog. Okay, let's talk about the fish. I know that was one of the questions coming up. We don't have here. The only kind of fish that we have are the mosquito fish, which are they're kind of small. They're only like maybe 2 or 3 inches, but they eat the larvae, the mosquito larvae. So there should never really be a mosquito at Bixby Marsh because the mosquito fish do their job. So there's no big fish. But when this was connected to the water source, the LA River, it would have had big fish or other fish here. One other little animal you might find here is the Pacific tree frog. That's the little kind of frog that's like local to this area. And just, I know it goes without saying, the frogs lay their eggs in the water. Those are the tadpoles, and then they go out into the land to eat their bugs. That's kind of like the opposite of a duck. A duck lays their eggs on the water, and then they go in the land, and then they go into the water to eat and live their life. So pretty cool.
Very cool. Okay, I just saw, I don't know if it's a yellow warbler, but Nathan, its eyes are like black, and then its tummy is bright yellow, and then its wings are like a mixture of yellow and black. And it's very small.
Does it have any white on its head?
Yeah, it does. It has white on its eyes, like its face almost looks like a raccoon.
Okay, that's probably that sounds like a common yellow throat.
And I took a photo of it. So right now it's drinking a little bit of water. So I took a photo of it. So we'll put it up on our Facebook. And I can hear. Okay, cool. So we're gonna keep walking. Where we're almost reaching the end of our walk here to Bixby.
While you're doing that, I'm going to talk about, they did a bird count here in December 27th. So I'm going to put a link to the eBird. It'll talk about all the different animals that were seen during the bird count. So this is a good time to put that, and everybody can look at
Yeah, perfect. So every year we have some bird enthusiasts from I forgot which
Audubon,
group.
Audub- the
Yeah, the
Audubon,
Audubon Society, exactly. So they come out and they do a bird count for Christmas. And so this year they came out and they counted how many species?
about 28 different species in like 2 hours. And if you click on the link I just put on the chat, you'll be able to see all the different birds, which is amazing that you could see so many. But you know, they have their binoculars and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's even when I come, I feel like I probably see like 5 species, but when I come with an expert, they happen to find like 10 and they take these beautiful photos. So if you click on the link, you'll be able to see some of the photos, and then we'll also play some other photos at the end of this at the end of this tour. So here we have a we have this drain. Can
that's
you
the
tell us a little bit about
that's
this drain?
that's the Wilmington Drain that I showed in the video. So that's the source of water for Bixby marshland. So when it rained like maybe last week, there was a lot of rain. We would have had a lot of water coming here to pump it into, it would have been pumped up into the marsh. I do have a question from Dorothy that says, do you have a naturalist on the project? And is there, oh, an iNaturalist project too? And if so, there's a name to join. I'm not familiar with an iNaturalist project, but maybe we could get back to you.
Is that hold on? Is that the name of the website where people check in and they make like a note or they document all the birds that they saw?
That's eBird, no?
Oh, is that okay?
iNaturalist, you can submit pictures
Yeah,
of
she said
what
yes.
you
Yeah.
found, you know, all various types of animals and I guess even plants when it says naturalist. And then
I'm gonna,
like a
I'm gonna
blog
click,
comment on it.
hold on. I'm gonna click on the link right now so we can all see it. We can all see it together. Janice, go ahead and keep walking and I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Well, actually, the other thing I'll point out is if you pan just a tiny bit back to the left, you can see more leaves of the grape. The grapes have definitely expanded their range. Obviously, the birds were eating the grapes and then carrying the seeds around elsewhere. So there are now grapevines in many different places of the marsh where it used to be they were just over the 2 gazebos.
How cool is that? So whoever comes to Bixby, bring your appetite because you can eat grapes.
Well,
Oh, when they're grapes in the summer.
they're pretty sour and full of seeds, but other than
They're
that,
grapes. They're grapes. Well, how nice. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, and about the iNaturalist, I'm not sure, but I do know that a lot of that where I first heard about it was one of our guests who came in was telling me a little bit more about iNaturalist, and he was telling me that he was documenting everything in that website.
So just to mention it, there we think we've had documented up to about I think 100 different species here at Bixby over document. Yeah, 104 bird species have been counted, 100 species of plants, and 500 species of insects. So if you're a Bixby offers so much. If you're a bird fan, you can come here. If you like to photograph flowers, you can come here. If you like insects, you can come here and learn so much about nature. Also, I was going to say that we've had people come up. I guess they have their quinceañera or their wedding on the first Saturday. Then they'll come and take pictures. This is open to the public, and we're just happy that somebody. Oh yeah, they would take their picture here. It's just a resource for the community. Thank you for letting us into your home.
So let us know if you want to come visit on the first Saturday with your
it's closed now, but
quinceañera party. Oh yeah,
I put the link to Bixby in the chat earlier towards the beginning. So if that would be where we would post it when it's open to the public. Right now it has this big red letter saying it's closed, but when we open, we probably announce it on social media and post it on the website as well.
there are not that many mammals that I've seen here, but there are raccoons. I saw a coyote once, and certainly there are pocket gophers. It's possible that there are little bush bunnies, no, but I haven't seen any. May have just not been here at the right time.
Go ahead, Genesis, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, so as I walk back to the entrance, I think we can start taking questions. And I think we got another very interesting question. It's how are we supported?
Oh, okay. Well, just to back up a little bit, the sanitation district maintains the Bixby marshland and the pump, and then we also have, so it's funded through the sanitation district, and we also have the kind of maintenance. I know this is not really the question, but I wanted to share. We do have gardeners and what's the name, arborists that come and check the health of the landfill, make sure that, I mean, the health of the marshland, make sure that the trees are healthy, and also there's structurally training. So our trained staff, if they ever see a nest, if you ever come and see yellow tape, that's because there's some kind of nesting bird, and we want to make sure nobody goes in there to disturb it. And you shouldn't be walking off the path, but even more reason to be careful around there.
Hey, Al, do you know what tree this is?
Yeah, that's the what's common name is mule fat.
Oh yeah.
And it, you know, the leaves look like willow leaves, but if you really look carefully at the leaves, then we don't need to get into that, but they really are not willows. They're in a whole different family. And the story is that mules would get fat eating them, and it turns out that that's not really the case. Oscar Clark, who wrote the botany field guide that we really rely on here, of plants of the Santa Ana Basin, said that they did an experiment, and he said it was indifferent fodder, but perhaps just because it's when it's moist, you can smell it. Perhaps that when mules were coming in from a dry area, they would smell it and know there was water close by, and then they would come in very quickly. But it definitely likes water, places where it's damp. The Department of Fish and Wildlife, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, uses that as a criterion for where there's a stream. If they see that, they figure that there is at least a little bit of water there.
Hey, Al, is it true the mule fat is in the same family as the sunflower? It's it's in that same family?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. The mule fat also attracts the western tiger swallowtail. So if you like that kind of butterfly, you should find the mule fat and wait for the butterfly to show up. What else do we see, Genesis? Oh, any other questions?
Oh yeah, please.
I don't see any other questions, but let's walk back together.
Yeah, we'll take any questions now. I do see a few little birds, so I'm trying to capture them so that I can post them a little later. Oh, what was that? Did you guys hear that? Oh, Nathan, what's that? There is did you guys hear this type of screech?
Yeah. Or a click here.
Yeah, there were two loud little screeches. Okay, so I'm walking back.
So I just posted on the chat the links to our social media accounts. So whatever pictures Genesis took today, we're gonna go ahead and post them. So make sure you go in there and give us a thumbs up.
Perfect. Do we have any other questions?
So far.
I know we got a lot of questions throughout, but.
Yeah. Well, this would be a good time to say, I had mentioned earlier that we have a YouTube account, so we're gonna post it here. We've been doing, we post our virtual tours that we've been doing since May. I highly encourage you, if you want to learn more about Bixby, to visit our tours. I mean, the recorded webinars that we've done, because each one was given from our different various docents, so they each have a different perspective. We've had tours done by Tracy Drake, who kind of gave it the angle of what Bixby meant to the Native American population. We've had it from Kim Moore, who is one of the nature photographers. Al has done them as well. So everybody has a different take on what to learn, and you're always learning. And that being said too, you should totally come back in the spring, because Bixby will look very different by then, and maybe we'll see different animals. And it's just always changing. So I highly encourage you to come back. There is a question today. Do you have any relationship Oh, turtle nest.
So there was a turtle nest around here, and I looked everywhere, but I couldn't find one. But everyone likes making their nests here, which, like Maria said, is a sign that this is a great habitat to raise your family in.
If you're
Which shows us.
If you're
Which shows
reproducing.
us.
Sorry, Jess. Go ahead.
No, I said which shows us that humans aren't that much different from animals, or animals aren't that much different from humans. Someone asked what kind of turtle. I don't know. It was just a sign that I found that said turtle's nest. So I think since then the turtle the turtles have hatched and gone.
There was there's another question saying, do we have any relationship to Madrona Marsh? I think that at one point it was probably the same. It was part of the same marsh, the Bixby Slough, but now we don't have a relationship. I believe Madrona is City of LA, supported by or maintained by City of LA. Oh, cool. Thank you.
And we do share some docents. So, you know, Maria mentioned that every first Saturday of the month we're open to the public, and we do have docents that help guide tours. Al Sattler, he helps us out a lot. He's one of our main docents. And so I do know that some of the docents that help us out at Bixby also help out at Madrona Marsh.
And
Vincent in particular.
Huh?
Vincent.
Oh yeah, Vincent. Yeah, Vincent Lloyd.
Right
Vincent
now,
Lloyd likes going to both. If
you're interested in being becoming a docent, make sure you email us. I'll put out our contact information right now. But again, I think you can always learn here at Bixby, no matter what. You can always learn. So I'm gonna post our email. So this would be where if you wanna schedule a tour like this for your organization, or if you want to be a docent, you can meet us there. And I'm also posting our YouTube channel, so you can relive the moment with us later today as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this fine Saturday morning. I will admit I was a little scared because I thought it was going to be overcast, but the sun did come through, and hopefully when we see the photos, you'll check out everything we saw today, and hopefully you can join us as soon as we open up again. And from everyone in Minnesota, in Canada, London, thank you for joining us. Make sure you come check us out when you're ever in town.
Thank you, everybody. We just want to say thank you for spending Saturday morning with us. And you guys were a brave bunch for this being our first live tour. I think it went really well. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all very much.
Bye. See you next.
Bye.
The next first
Saturday.
Saturday.
To our expert Nathan and Al Sattler. Thank you for joining us and helping us out.
All right. Bye.
Oh, Maria, did you want to play a slideshow? Oh.
Sycamore there.
Yeah, a sycamore. They're beautiful in the fall.
The meeting's still going, Jennifer.
Yeah, I know.
We still have some attendees here. Oh no, they're okay.
Just for anyone that wants to view any last minute scenery,
No
or if you wanted to play your slideshow of.
I'll play my slideshow right now for anybody who wants to stick around. Okay. Yeah, we're still live. We're gonna go ahead and play a slideshow of all the different we saw. Oh gosh, I didn't get a chance to share it. So this would be the ducks in action. Anybody who wants to just stay around and look. These are previously recorded footage of Bixby. Mom duck. Wow, look at them go. Should see it again just because it's cool. What you see on there is duckweed, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Some flat two leaves. These are mallards, right?
Yeah.
Little mallards. I read that the mallards, I guess they will, as the little ducklings get older, they will change feathers, right? And that's maybe it's one of nature's way of helping them hide in the marsh. They're brown. This is another shot of the sagebush, the cowboy cologne. Closer. Tory Pine, California brittle bush. So this is what I was saying earlier, that the monkey flower kind of has a different, like this one have little long thin petals, but the monkey flower has these round bigger petals. So that's a way you could tell them apart.
Yeah.
Lemon berry with the berries.
There you see the berries.
Yeah, and the leaves, the flowers are darkened as well, like they're not yellowish or white. Purple sage. California buckwheat. We didn't get a chance to cover this one. Oh, this is the pavilion with the grape leaves in all its glory.
Come back later in the season and you'll see much more of this.
Are these, so this is a shot, I guess, in the fall. I can't tell if those are the grapes, the purple stuff is the grapes, or those are the leaves that change color, or dead leaves. Do you know?
Yeah, those are the leaves changing color. It's got to be. Look how red it is.
Looks beautiful. And oh, this is a close-up shot of the eucalyptus with the bark beetle.
Oh,
So
cool. Where did you get that picture on the right?
I'll have to check the presentation, but I just got the shivers just looking at those those larvae. Close up of the desert wild grape. Oh, well, here we go. Little grapes, baby grapes, and mature grapes. Somebody's helping themselves to the grapes. Oh, this is a cottonwood. So if you cut a little branch of the knuckle of the cottonwood at the right, just at the right place, you find this little star shape right in the middle of the trunk, I guess. And I always found it amazing. It's like, you know, shapes, geometric shapes out in nature, like naturally occurring. How cool is that? This was the young lady that had her quinceañera. She stopped by to take pictures. So of course, our docents had to record it. Yay. All right, let's see. We have more pictures. Oh, for anybody who wants any more our information, here's our contact. You can contact us here. And thanks to Kim Moore, our nature photographer, who took many of these awesome pictures. You can find her contact information there. So this is just for anybody who wants to stay here and just look at more pictures that we're taking of Bixby. That's the deal with live tours. Ooh, which one's this one, Nathan? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, I'm gonna keep going. Look at that one. The underbelly of the tree. So all these pictures, Genesis, when did you take these?
I took
Can you hear
these
me?
2 days ago.
Oh, I hear you.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Butterfly. I hear you, Nathan. Oh, yeah, this is the nest that's up at the front of the Bixby entrance, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody know what kind of nest this is? Al? Nathan?
Oh, that's probably a bush ted, isn't it? If
Can
it's
you hear me?
long.
Yes. Yeah.
When I saw it, it reminded
Okay.
me of like a Christmas stocking kind of.
Yeah, that's probably a bush jet. They're the small bird. They're the smallest bird in North America next to the hummingbird, and they typically fly in a flock of 10 to 50 birds. You'll just see the flock of these little birds moving along, eating all the little insects and spiders they come across. You know, and the flock just keeps on moving, and the birds are so mobile. It's really hard to take a picture of them. I've tried, and this little bird makes this big nest. Don't ask me why, but they do. And you don't even know that it's there until perhaps the leaves, fall, and then it's there. We actually had one in a plant in our backyard and didn't know it was there until pruning late in the season. So just amazing.
Yeah,
Cool.
that nest is an old nest that's fallen apart. It's
Yeah.
probably when it was originally there, it was about half as high, and there's a little hole in the top. So it's like a ball that hangs from the, well, it's kind of like a
It,
sack that hangs from the
it almost
branch,
looks like a
and there's a
stocking.
hole at the
That's what
top.
I said. Yeah, it looks like a Christmas stocking, like a little boot,
Yeah, well, this is right now. It's like a stocking, but if you cut it, if you like rip the stocking apart and it's hanging down, but it would be, if you put it all back together, it would be like half as big.
How many? Is that just one bird in there? Because it looks kind of
Oh,
big.
there's
Like 3 birds in there or something.
probably like, in terms of baby birds, there's probably, I would say like 20
Oh, really?
roughly. I mean, I maybe, I don't know exactly per nest, but the flocks are usually like 15 to 30 birds. They're the little tiny gray ones that kind of fly around like a swarm of bees almost.
All right. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. This is, oh yeah, so you can tell this is straight from Bixby, right? Because the geese are walking right straight through the Bixby boardwalk.
Yeah, that was at the bridge.
Oh.
I was just walking along one day. I was going to take some wildflower pictures, and all of a sudden they were there, and we had absolutely no idea that the family was there until seeing these 2 adult geese and the 2 goslings. And you can see the goslings don't yet have functional wings, so obviously they had been raised right here at the marsh, and that says to me that the marsh really is working as a good habitat. That the birds are raising their families here. That, and then you saw the mallards earlier with the little school or little, all the little ducklings swimming.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of I mean, from a bird standpoint, you can tell it's healthy because a good site based on the biodiversity of like the species diversity. There's a wide variety of habitats. Like the area around the parking lot will have its own birds that kind of move into the upland area. The as you get more to the riparian habitat, you get, the birds start to change. The very backside near where the drain comes in has its own, it's a little denser and taller and in terms of the trees, and it'll have different birds like the red-tailed hawks and red-shouldered hawks and downy woodpeckers will often be over there. And then like the grassland on the other side will have more sparrows. So each little area has its own different types of birds, like whether it's warblers or flycatchers or sparrows or waterfowl. But in each one of those areas, it's like the diversity is good. I mean, the blue-gray gnatcatchers are good.
See, what can you tell us about this little mallard right here? What is he doing?
Feeding.
It's a female, right? Only the females are brown. The males have like these bright colors. Is that true?
I won't go so far to say it's just a female. It could be like a juvenile or a female, but I'm not particular. A lot of the juveniles look like, in birds look like females, but the male would be like bright green.
Right. Here we have. I'm gonna keep showing you if you want to jump in and say anything about these animals we photographed here before. Cooper's hawk. Oh, this is a great footage. Let's see.
That's a baby bird.
Yeah. Let's see. I thought it played. Oops. Never mind.
Yeah, see, that's a baby bird.
RSP. Rest in peace.
Looks like
bird.
a baby. Looks like it might be a baby coot.
Yeah. Then he's kind of like, I don't have anything.
Oh wow, blue grosbeak. That's a good one. Blue grosbeak.
Looks so like velvety. Looks pretty.
That would be more like a spring migration bird.
So this one's just
Oh, no,
stopping
more
by.
like a summer resident.
Oh,
I shouldn't say spring migration and summer resident.
egret.
It's a great egret.
Oh, this one has some sound. So if you have AirPods on, you might want to take them off. Oh, never mind.
That's a Cooper's hawk.
From one of the earlier presentations, they said that if it has yellow eyes, it's young, and as they mature, they get darker eyes.
Well, like this, if you look at the belly, see the striping. That's
This?
yeah. On an adult, it would be more. It would be like a fine reddish color.
Oh, so it's of course.
See the streaks.
Yeah.
See those in the. Actually, you can if you've seen specimens in a museum, then it becomes really easy to tell the difference between Cooper's hawks and Sharpton hawks, and like male and female Cooper's hawks and Sharpton hawks. The females are significantly bigger than the males, and the juveniles typically have this. I'm not a real expert in this, but the juveniles have these fine streaks, well, these thick streaks on the belly, whereas the adults are more like a kind of a dark gray, navy blue color on the top, and more have like these reddish feathers on their belly. And then when you get to the difference between the Coopers and Sharpton hawks, it's primarily in the tail. The Cooper's hawk's tail is more rounded, and the Sharpton hawk is more square, but the head is more flat, and it's more kind of like it's the Sharpton hawk has a round knobby head, and the Cooper's hawk has a deep flat head. So,
Susan Schlichting says that there was a Cooper's hawk nest in her neighborhood. Susan, where are you from?
I just asked her that in the chat too.
Oh, perfect.
Let's see
Yeah,
if
she said she found a nest in her neighborhood.
Yay.
That's crazy.
If she lives close by, it might be a Bixby.
Oh, she's from Redondo.
Oh, so it could be this one, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay,
That's
I'm gonna
cool. Yeah,
keep
she's
going.
really nearby then.
American Kestrel. This is like the smallest hawk, right? The smallest hawk.
yeah, and it's ESTREL.
Oh, sorry.
Just
Yellow-bellied sapsucker. These are the ones that eat the bark beetle, I think.
no, sapsuckers drill holes in. They drill rows of holes into trees, particularly like cottonwoods would be a good example.
By the way, these were taken by Kim Moore, so those are just awesome photos that Kim Moore took.
But they drill holes. They make a row of holes in a tree, and they wait for the sap to ooze out, and then they drink the sap. So if you look up in the cottonwood trees and you see like a row of little tiny holes, like about a ½ inch apart on a branch, like a smaller branch, those are your sapsucker.
For our next live tour Genesis, we're gonna look for that at the Cottonwood Tree, okay?
Yes, and we're doing one in spring.
This is I think another Kim Moore picture, but if you like insects, it's gorgeous. Simply gorgeous.
And I was here when she saw that. I mean, they just have a really, really good eye. Like, I don't think I would have ever seen that. And she pointed it out and took a photo of it. I think I was here with her like maybe 5 months ago.
Look at that, amazing.
Oh, that's my picture.
Yay. This one is, I think, California brittlebush flower. Close up of it. Sycamore tree?
Yep.
Sharpton? What is this?
Someone asked if the sapsucker.
Oh, go ahead, Genesis.
Leslie Purcell asked if the sapsucker holes harm the tree.
I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm assuming that they harm it any, just, similar to how an insect, biting on a tree, eating on a tree would harm it, but I don't know how much it is or if it's enough to like really matter. But they kind of eventually the holes probably like grow, scab over, like if you were pruning a branch off, they probably fill in the long run.
There was one tree right close to the parking lot that had those rows of holes in it. Somewhere I have a picture of that. And the tree itself was definitely, it did die. My guess is that it had been the polyphagus shot borer, the insect that tends to kill trees, and a number of trees there at the marsh did die and were cut down. We could talk about that another time, and something I can talk about when I do the tours. This here looks like it's a coyote bush from what I can tell looking at it. And it's in the same genus actually as the mule fat, but this one likes, it grows in much drier habitat. And you can see the little, you can see the little fluff on the flowers there. You can see the tiny flowers. This is also in the same family as the sunflower.
Cool, thank you. See what else we've got, and then
Grape,
desert wild grape.
California.
There's just another moment of nature if you want to stick around for
algae on
the algae.
water.
And if you want to go through the eBird checklist, it's a really good. It's really representative of December at Bixby.
I'll go after this one. We'll go there. Okay. Okay. Well, let's go to the eBird site again. This is for anybody who wants to stick around. No, we won't.
I'm impressed that people are sticking around for the after
I
credits.
know. I'm so honored. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull up the eBird list and.
Genesis, if you back up a little bit, remember this little corner right by the gazebo has the wild rose.
Which one? Tell me where. Left, right?
When you're at the gazebo, the rectangular one, and
I'm at the entrance.
And then so actually no.
I'm at the entrance. At the entrance parking lot.
Never mind. Oh, actually, there's one right at the entrance also. Go to the walkway where, now move forward from there, and it's just on your left as you're starting to go. It's that large bush that's on the left. It may be mostly dormant right now. Yeah. Okay. Do left. Yeah. Okay, there's not much there. Oh my, it looks like Grape is taking over there also.
All right,
I'm gonna share in months.
I'm gonna share my screen and share the eBird checklist. So this was actually taken December 27 by Tracy Drake. She's one of the she also, I think she's a docent at Madrona, but she also is a docent here at Bixby from the South Bay Audubon. And look, in 2 hours. Almost 3 hours. She's 38 species observed. And should we click through each one? What should we do?
Yeah, I mean, you could click on her pictures when there is one.
Someone asked if they can see a picture of the hummingbird again.
Oh, okay. Let me go through this and then I'll go back to the hummingbird. Or maybe the hummingbird will show up here.
There's going to be hummingbirds.
There's going to be hummingbirds? Okay.
No, but she wanted to see the hummingbird nest. Specifically that photo that you showed us.
I'm gonna go through the checklist really fast. We'll go back to that one. Look at that little bird in action.
So if you go
where?
If you go to the start at the Gadwall. Yeah, so these are kind of like, see how the feathers on the male is the one on the two in the one in the middle, and see how fine and smooth the feathers are. And then it has this black these black feathers red around the tail.
Yeah.
And if you see how the female has this like white patch on its wings sticking out, if you open up the if they open up their wings, there's a stretch of like white feathers. But these are a type of dabbling duck. If you go to the next one, that's a male mallard, which a lot of people have seen. These are
American coots.
These are ringneck ducks.
Oh no.
They kind of have a very peaked head, and there's that little white spot on its bill, and then there's a little ring of white around the base of the bill. Also, the I'm a little rusty, but the feathers on the side, I think the overall white and black pattern on the feathers is different between this and a lesser scaup. But the juveniles are, you can see, yeah, the females are definitely ringneck ducks. You can see there's a little white ring around the eye on the females and the juveniles.
Let's see what the next one is. Maybe it's closer.
Yeah. Or you go to the next. Oh, yeah. See, this is a lesser scaup. That's a really good picture.
Let's see. Here's another one.
Yeah. See.
Oh, hummingbird.
Actually, if you go back. See how the scaup is, the sides and the back are kind of whitish black. If you go back to the ringneck duck, I think if you go back, like the ringneck ducks have the tip of the tail is black and the upper and the back is black, but the sides are like whitish. So go back, go forward. I mean, yeah. Keep going.
Hummingbird.
That's like not a male Anna's hummingbird. I'm a little rusty when it comes to like female and juvenile species, but juvenile sexes, but well, ages and sexes. Usually, like in a lot of birds, the juveniles and the females are more drab than the males, and
we have some more hummingbirds. Let's see which. Oh, he's like bathing or splashing. He's playing in the rain.
He's like cleaning.
He's bathing.
He's bathing, basically.
Oh, how cool is this shot? I'm so impressed. We've got some questions. Let's see on the chat. I have to leave. Thank you for the tour. No problem. Thank you so much. The link is there. Thank you, Al. And I promise that I will put the picture of the hummingbird. But let's go through these together.
And I think before my phone dies, which it's about to, I think we will sign up.
Yeah, we're gonna sign up now. Let me scroll through these really fast.
Okay. That's a male Anna's hummingbird.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Let's scroll really fast before it ends. Here's the same little Alan's hummingbird. There we go. Here's South American food. Here's a red-tailed hawk. More hawks. Ooh, American kestrel. That's the smaller hawk. Little tiny.
It's a ruby-crowned kinglet. It's a little hyperactive little bird.
And lesser goldfish. Let's see what else. Song sparrow.
That's a nice little Lincoln sparrow. That shows the habitat's a good quality. You'll see these in good riparian areas, like dense riparian areas.
He's putting the stamp of approval on Bixby, just gracing us.
This bird is the best. Wait, that's the best bird she saw of all of them.
Wow.
This is like a rare bird. You don't normally see these in Southern California. The Lucy's warblers.
That's the one that I saw.
That's
the one that I saw. Yeah, the one that I told Nathan that it looked like a raccoon.
Oh, yeah, cool. It's like a little banded bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a male common yellow throat.
Okay.
I'll be turning the live feed off so that I can transfer the photos.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the share right now. And
bye everyone again. Thank you for staying for the after credits.
Yeah, let me just put back the hummingbird shot. So
bye again.
There she is.
Oh yeah, the baby hummingbird shot.
Okay. Hold on.
Bye again.
Bye. So live feed is off. I'm gonna screen share. There it is. Ah, sorry, now we have to back up all the way. I promise you I'll get you to the. There we go. This one's for you, Sadie. All right.
I don't know how they fit into those nests.
I think the mom maybe just wraps them up. Well, the little eggs would be in there first, right? And then when they hatch, they just kind of like find their way in. There we go. Thank you.
Well, the eggs, the nests are so small. They're like.
All right. Well, just a couple more minutes and then we're gonna log off. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you so much. They're gorgeous. If I paint these babies, no, I won't mind if you paint them. Go ahead and just credit Kim Moore for her, or the photographer for doing that. Thank you. All right. So with that, we're gonna stop sharing, and I want to thank everybody for spending our tour with us. And with that, good afternoon. I mean, yeah, good morning and happy 2021. Join us again. Goodbye.